Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Costa Rica and I'm back for another Eurovision reaction video. Today I'm going to be giving my thoughts about Liverpool being chosen to host Eurovision 2023. So, let's kiki. That was surprisingly easy considering I haven't done it in such a long time. So as you may know from social media, I'm currently on the road right now. I'm traveling around Central America for 2 months, which is why I'm currently in this hostel with abysmal lighting. I'm doing a half squat because I couldn't find anything of the right height and there's no chair in my room. Don't worry, it's not always going to look as grim as this. I just wanted to do a quick test because I'm on the road. I don't have my laptop. I wanted to try filming on my phone as usual, but I'm going to try editing on my iPad because I want to start reacting to the Junior Eurovision songs which are being released. There's a lot of hype about them on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, follow me. So I really want to start looking at those because I've heard a lot of really promising things. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but obviously it's a little bit unavoidable because my Twitter is totally geared towards Eurovision. So hopefully if the editing of this video goes well, I will start those reactions as soon as possible. So in terms of, oh my god, this half squats. this is my actual height. See, I'm not in camera. So the first thing about Liverpool hosting was it was nice to have that feeling of suspense again, because I remember being in my friend's apartment at the time, I had my hands over my face, really excited, that sense of like caring about something and a kind of an exciting, unexpected outcome. It was actually quite a big surprise for me that Liverpool were actually chosen. Even when they're in the final two, I still kind of thought it was a little bit like, what was that Maastricht with Rotterdam and Maastricht? It felt almost like they were giving a nod to the Liverpool bid, like, you did really well, we want you to have a little bit of attention, we want people a little bit of recognition for the city. I kind of got that impression, a little bit like Tel Aviv. I can't remember who Tel Aviv was up against at the end as well. Was it Haifa? But I can't remember. It was someone that was like generally it tends to be like quite an obvious one and a bit of a no-hoper. Like if you go way back, Liverpool were way down the odds, so anyone who bet money on them really would have made quite a pretty penny. So, but yeah, I was genuinely surprised. I actually had a big gasp when it was announced. First points I'll make is that I'm noticing since Martin Osterdahl has taken over that there's more of a shift to the focus on the show and a little bit caring about who's attending, because the Liverpool Arena is only 11,000. Plus when they put in extra stuff like the stage and any extra stuff, they'll probably lose a bit of capacity there. So we're maybe looking around 10,000, 10.5, which is really small comparatively. I can't remember how much big Tel Aviv was, but I think it was pretty much the same. If you go back to my first Eurovision I attended in 2016 in Friends Arena, that was 16,000. So quite significantly smaller. I've already said on Twitter, I think this is going to be the hardest Eurovision to attend in history. The competition already is getting more and more popular, but on top of that, a lot of British people are going to want to go. They're rightfully going to look at this as potentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Plus, I think they're going to give a lot of tickets to Ukrainians as well, because they want to have that like Ukrainian public participation at the show. So you've kind of got like 2 host countries that you need to give tickets to, plus you got advertisers, everything. I think it's just gonna be like neon impossible. I'm still gonna apply, but I'm not expecting anything whatsoever. So yes, I do feel like after what happened last year with less press being allowed in and the small arena and no standing, I was like, is that RAI or is that Martin Osterdahl? With what's happening now and a small arena being chosen again, we don't know what's fully in the bid, but it does imply to me that Martin Osterdahl and his team have less of a focus on the fans who are attending. I kind of get where they're coming from. At the end of the day, the show goes to 180 million, so why does it really matter about 3,000 or 4,000 super fans who are standing in the middle waving their flags? I think they add a lot of atmosphere. I think we bring a lot to the show, a lot of passion and whatnot, but maybe they just don't care about us. I did actually have a tiny stint on BBC News. They messaged me on Twitter. They asked me to come in and talk about it and do a little reaction. I spent the whole day shitting my pants at home, which was a total waste of time because I went on and it was absolutely fine. I'm not sure if you know what BBC News is like, but they have a lot of interviews on it and they just have the person off the screen and the presenter's talking to them. Actually, it was just a Skype phone call, so I couldn't see anything. My screen was black and I was just, it was almost like she was calling me on the phone. There was another guest there couldn't see, so I didn't know the context of who she was or where she was from or anything. I just had to kind of listen. I was like, oh, there's another girl there. It was like she was from like a Liverpool council or something like that. Anyway, it was really, it was actually wasn't that nerve-wracking then because I couldn't see anything. But then afterwards, absolutely nobody contacted me about it at all. Like messages from friends like, oh, you're on BBC. So literally nobody saw it. Anyway, I have the audio saved, so when I get back to Ireland I will see if I can upload that. But that was like a fun experience being on BBC News as a complete idiot for 3.5 minutes. But yeah, they wanted to know my reaction. My reaction was very positive. It was like about excitement, about this being the start of the Eurovision season. Now we are starting to get names. We've got 2 people already named for Cyprus and Israel. We're getting a bit more gossip about who could be performing in Melody Festivalen and Festival Kungas. So this for me is like the more official start of the season. This September 1st is technically the music release date, faux start that people talk about, but I don't really think that's a particularly exciting start to the season. In terms of Liverpool hosting, they must have put in a great bid. We don't know what was in the bid book, but I would imagine it was very heavy on culture, identity. They probably put in something extremely strong in terms of representing Ukraine as well and giving them a voice. So it's a shame we don't get to see those books, but they clearly did something really, really correct, because there were so many strong bids. It wasn't like when we had Netherlands and Israel where there were like less obvious possible countries. Really, the UK had 6 or 7 extremely viable options. So I know with Birmingham, they had a problem with their roof. It was too low, so that cut them out. I thought it was going to come down to Manchester and Glasgow were going to win. I don't know what went wrong with Manchester. And then Glasgow, I don't know if, I'm not sure, because Glasgow had the BBC base right beside, it had a little village and everything, but obviously the Liverpool bid was just stronger. It's the home of the Beatles. I know they definitely would have played up to that. Home of Mel C from from Spice Girls. Who else is from Liverpool? Isn't Sonia, who did Eurovision 95, Better the Devil You Know? She's from Liverpool. I don't know if that's was a big thing in their decision making, but who knows, maybe it was. Maybe they're big fans of that song. I have booked accommodation. It was obscenely expensive. I got the biggest, like, this place is a palace compared to the thing I got. It was like the normal thing where people are just real scoundrels and they hike up the prices. Everything was sold out. There is rumors of there being a boat which will dock in the harbour, so I'm fingers crossed for that. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to go yet. I'm going to see if I get tickets. Plus, if there's that boat there, that'll make a big difference for me, because that'll be like a really fun experience. I'm thinking in the future it would be great if they always had a host city that was a port, if possible. Obviously, if Switzerland win or Czech Republic, that would be a great tradition for them to start, because there's accommodation problem every year where accommodation prices are just hiked up by all the hotels. It's really unpleasant experience. I'm very stressful, so I'm slipping this floor because I'm doing a wide squat on a slippy floor. So yes, sorry for slipping around. Another thing that Liverpool would have had going for them is that they're twinned with Odessa, so that is obviously a cultural connection as well. Liverpool used to be a UNESCO cultural heritage site for, I think, the riverbank, but because they allowed too much construction of, like, I don't know, non-cultural buildings, that was actually stripped away from them. So, but I'm sure that they still would have been able to have lent into that. I've been to Liverpool. I went there when I was maybe 10. I went to Anfield, which is where Liverpool football team played, not because I'm a football fan, but because the people I was with were fans. I don't remember anything else to be honest. Do I remember anything? No, I don't remember anything about it. It was too long ago. I still think that the UK will do a great show. I feel that Liverpool is very kind of known for being like very bubbly and fun and a little bit salt of the earth. Has a very strong connection to Ireland, because a lot of people during the famine times, those who emigrated to the UK mostly went to Liverpool. So there's a very strong cultural connection between UK and Ireland. I think that Liverpool, they've got that kind of like humility that means that it's not going to be a problem for them to fuse a connection between them and Ukraine. I think it's going to be a really, really great show. Going to the UK, I have to admit, I'm not massively excited, just for the simple reason that I lived in the UK for 7 years. I've been to pretty much every single city. That's one of the reasons I'm not so sure if I'm going to go, because like, for example, if I was to go to Czech Republic, that would be a really interesting experience for me. I would love to learn more about it and all the different places outside of Prague, which I've never visited. But look, the main thing is I'm really excited. This is the start of the season. Hopefully I'm going to do my junior Eurovision videos, and then we're going to get some fic releases, and I can hopefully get myself sorted up. Hopefully the editing for this video on my iPad won't be too painful, and I can get a little bit of a ball rolling. Let me know what you think about Liverpool hosting in the comment section down below. What do you think they did to win? Are you excited? Are you going to go to the show? And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in another Eurovision reaction video very soon. Goodbye.